first stock was Pandora. The second stock is Twitter, Intel, Under Armour, and 21st Century Fox. So Pandora is an internet radio and music streaming service. It's only available in Australia, New Zealand, and the United States right now. In 2000, it began as Savage Beast Technology, and it was founded by Will Glazer, John Kraft, and Tim Westergren. The company started off with $2 million in funding, and in 2001, they ran out of money. One of the founders, Tim Westergren, convinced the 50 employees at the time to work for the next 2 years without pay, since they had no more money. It began with the idea to create a separate individualized radio station for each user. But it started off as a paid service, and it switched over to an advertising service to make it free for users. In 2011, Pandora launched its IPO to the New York Stock Exchange, and by December 2013, Pandora accounted for 70% of all internet radio and 8% of all radio listening in the United States. I bought it because I use Pandora every day, and I saw a lot of advertisements on like TV and other things for Pandora, and I just thought it was popular, so I thought it would be a good stock to invest in. And it was only available in 3 countries, so I thought there was a lot of room to expand. But I was wrong. So this is Pandora, and it had very poor relative strength in comparison to NASDAQ and SiriusXM. I bought 1,416 shares, and I sold the shares at $13.34. So I lost a total of $1,118.64. And that's an example of like what Pandora looks like on the phone. Like, it kind of just looks like when you're listening to music. The next stock that I invested in was Twitter, and it's an online news and social networking service where users post and read 140-character tweets. It was started with a day-long brainstorming session in March 2006 by ODO employees Jack Dorsey, Noah Glass, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams. The first Twitter prototype was used as an internal service for the ODO employees, and the full version was introduced later that year, July 15th. The original project name was Twitter, but without like the vowels, and it was inspired by Flickr and like just a 5-character shortcode. And also because the domain twitter.com was already taken, but later on they bought that domain and they changed their name to Twitter as we know it now. On November 7, 2013, the first day of trading on the New York Stock Exchange, Twitter shares opened up at $26 and it closed at $44.90. So it gave the company a valuation of around $31 billion, and it ended up with a market cap of $24.46 billion. I bought it because I know it was very popular and I saw a lot of my friends using it, and there was a lot of talk about Twitter being bought out by multiple suitors. So I also used technical analysis because it had broke to the charts at the time, and the stock price was like crazy at the time when we bought the stock. So we bought it around here, and it went up because it was supposed to get bought out, but everyone kind of dropped out, so the stock price dropped a lot. And I bought it at $22.76 a share, and I sold it at $17.93 a share, and I lost $4,241.38. And this is just an example of like a tweet of what Twitter like looks like. My next stock is Intel. It's an American multinational corporation and technology company. It's the world's largest and highest value semiconductor chip manufacturer, and based on revenue, along with AMD. It is also an inventor of x86 series of microprocessors, the processors found in most personal computers today, and supplies processors for computers manufacturers like HP, Dell, Lenovo. Intel was founded on July 18th, 1968 by semiconductor pioneers Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. It started off as NM Electronics. They later on changed it to Integrated Electronics, or Intel for short. Intel was an early developer of SRAM and DRAM memory chips, and it was a majority of their business until 1981. It created the world's first microprocessor chip, like to the public, in 1971, but it wasn't until like the rapid growth of computers and personal computers in the 90s that became its primary business. Their total investment was $2.5 million, and just 2 years later, they went public at $23.50 a share. I bought it because Intel was the most popular processing company I had seen, and the laptops in the school, they use Intel processors as well. It's also a blue chip company, and the technology industry is going, so I thought like there'd be more investments in computers and things like that, but the stock didn't move that much. I compared it to NASDAQ and AMD because it's its #1 competitor. And this is an example of the processors in their chips.
Always been that, okay, so what are you going to do next after drone 100? Can you do something more? The difference between 100 and 500 is mind-blowing.
We have changed the whole thinking from many individual drones towards one single fleet of drones.
The drone itself is a completely new drone. This is the Intel Shooting Star. It's made to be lightweight. It has a propeller cage so that we can ensure that everything is done safely and securely.
A fleet of these drones actually needs to have special permission. So we had to work with the FAA to show that we can operate this in a safe way. And it is being designed where 2 people can actually operate it by themselves. Why 2 people? Because you need 1 person for backup.
All this drone can do is light up the sky, but this is something it can do really, really well.
The whole concept of a light show. It drives human imagination. It creates an expression of art.
This is something that we never could have done last year. It's been an amazing experience just to see the technology develop so quickly. There's always been that, okay, so what are you going to do next?
My next company was 21st Century Fox. It's an American multinational mass media corp that was one of the 2 companies formed by the splitting up entertainment company News Corp. It was founded by Rupert Murdoch in 1979, and in June 2013, the company split into 21st Century Fox and News Corp, but it's the new News Corp. Murdoch believed it would unlock even greater long-term shareholder value with one company more oriented towards media and the other towards publishing. So the new News Corp is the one more oriented towards publishing, and 21st Century is more oriented towards like media. So News Corporation's board approved the split on May 24th, 2013, but shareholders approved the split on June 11th. The company completed the split on June 28th, and it started formally trading on July 1st. Its name comes from 20th Century Movie Studio, 20th Century Fox, and the 21st Century Fox. It has expanded into 4 major reporting segments, like cable TV programming, TV, film, entertainment, and direct broadcast satellite. Fox is currently the world's 4th largest media conglomerate after Comcast, Time Warner, and Walt Disney. I I bought it because it produces a lot of shows that I like. And it was a new company, like it's only 3 years old, but it owns like a majority of things like 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, Fox International Productions, Fox Searchlight Pictures, 20th Century Fox Animation, and Blue Sky Studios. It did a lot better at the beginning. It was doing a lot better than Disney and Time Warner, and it had done a lot better overall than the NASDAQ and all the other companies. Time Warner went up in October, but overall, Fox did better, and it was my only bullish stock. Every other stock that I had lost a lot of money. My last stock was Under Armour, and it's an American sports clothing and accessories company. It's a supplier of sportswear and casual apparel, but in 2006 they started to sell footwear as well. It was founded in 1996 by Kevin Plank in his grandmother's basement in Washington, D.C. He was a fullback of the University of Maryland at the time, and he got the idea because he was tired of changing his sweaty t-shirts, and he noticed that his compression shorts stayed dry. So it inspired him to make shirts out of like moisture-wicking synthetic fabric. He gave his official prototype to some of his teammates on the Maryland team and some of the other friends that he had that went on to play in the NFL and work that out. And he also went up and down the East Coast selling apparel outside of his trunk. And it blew up after a front page photo of USA Today featured Oakland Raiders quarterback Jeff George, and he was wearing Under Armour turtleneck. So by the beginning of the next year, Plank had $100,000 in orders to fill. The first big break was in 1999 though, when Warner Brothers contracted Under Armour to use product placement in 2 of its feature films, Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday and The Replacements. And Under Armour IPO'd in the NASDAQ on November 2005, and it raised $153 million. And I just thought Under Armour was the most popular company I had seen. I'd seen a lot of kids using it in sports equipment and things like that, and especially because the new school year was starting, and like the sports teams start towards the beginning of the year. So I thought the sales would go up, and that was really well. And it had very poor relative strength in comparison to Adidas and Nike, and compared it to the NASDAQ. But yeah, it was my most bearish stock. I lost more money than Twitter. So I bought 508 stocks at $39.35 each share, and I sold it at $30.03. I lost $4,000.733.96. This is just an advertisement for Under Armour. And my portfolio ended with $90,000, $270.39.